Hey, welcome to the Explainer. We've all had that moment, right? You're driving down a road you know like the back of your hand, and bam, the weather just turns on you. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to weatherproof your driving so you can stay safe no matter what the sky decides to do. You know the feeling. 1 minute, it's a perfect day. You're just cruising. The next, the sky opens up and suddenly that road you know so well turns into this slick, treacherous challenge. It's amazing how fast it can switch from totally comfortable to genuinely dangerous, and it happens a lot more than you'd think. And this isn't just some small thing. The stakes here are incredibly high. On average, nearly 5,000 people are killed in weather-related crashes in the US every single year. And it doesn't stop there. On top of the fatalities, get this, over 418,000 people are injured every year in those same conditions. I mean, these numbers are just staggering, and they really show why understanding these risks is so important for every single one of us who gets behind the wheel. So, let me ask you something. When you picture a weather-related crash, what pops into your head? For most people, it's probably a crazy blizzard, a total whiteout, or hitting a patch of that scary black ice. But what does the data actually say? The real answer is probably not what you're thinking. So check this out. It's pretty wild. While we all get worked up about snow and ice, and for good reason, it's actually just plain old wet pavement that's involved in a whopping 70% of these crashes. Our biggest threat isn't the dramatic winter storm, it's the everyday rain shower that we tend to blow off. All right, so let's start there. Let's dive into some of those dangers that aren't so obvious, the kind of stuff that can catch even the best, most careful driver completely by surprise. So, on those wet roads we were just talking about, the number one risk is hydroplaning. This is basically when your tires start to water ski on a thin layer of water. They completely lose contact with the road. And when that happens, you've got zero steering and zero braking. Total loss of control. But maybe the most deceptive, most terrifying invisible danger out there has got to be black ice. It's a true nightmare scenario, because it's just this super thin, totally clear layer of ice that looks exactly like the rest of the road. You have no idea you're on it until your car is already sliding. And this right here just nails the problem perfectly. What your eyes see is just a harmless-looking wet patch on the road, right? Something you drive over all the time. But what's really there is a sheet of ice with basically no grip at all. It's that huge gap between what you see and what's real that makes it so unbelievably dangerous. And, it's not always about rain or snow. Just temperature swings can create all sorts of hazards. That freeze-thaw cycle, that's what gives us those giant potholes. A cold snap can drop your tire pressure, messing with your grip. And what about when your windshield fogs up out of nowhere? That can blind you in seconds. Oh, and never, ever underestimate a pile of wet leaves in the fall. They can be just as slick as an ice rink. Okay, so we've covered the hidden stuff. Now let's switch gears and talk about the more dramatic, in-your-face threats that storms can throw at us while we're on the road. This is a big one, a question I think we've all wondered about. You hear all the time that you're safe in a car during a thunderstorm, and there's this old myth that it's the rubber tires that save you. But is that what's really going on? The short answer is yes, a hardtop car is a very safe place to be, but it has nothing to do with the tires. It's all because of a cool physics principle called the Faraday cage effect. Basically, your car's metal body acts like a shield, forcing all that electricity to go around you, not through you. So here's how it works. Lightning hits the metal roof. The electricity then flows right over that outer shell, kind of like water flowing over a dome. Then, it safely goes through the car to the ground. As long as you're inside and not touching any metal parts, you're totally protected. This, by the way, is exactly why a convertible with a soft top offers zero protection. Hail is another one of those intense hazards, and its danger is way more than just a few dents in your hood. First, it can create a layer on the road that's just as slippery as ice. Second, heavy hail can cut your visibility down to almost nothing. And finally, just the noise and the constant impacts can cause a driver to totally panic, leading to sudden, unsafe moves. Okay, so we've laid out all the dangers. That's the scary part. Now let's pivot to what really matters, the solutions. Let's get into a clear, simple playbook to help you handle all of these conditions safely. Being safe really starts before you even put the key in the ignition. First, always check the weather forecast for where you're actually going. Next, do a quick walk around. Are your tires inflated right? Is there enough tread? And what about your wipers? Do they clear the windshield cleanly or do they just smear everything? And finally, make sure your washer fluid is full. These little things make a gigantic difference. All right, so what if you get caught in the storm? The rules of the road change completely. Number 1, slow way down. We're talking well below the speed limit. Number 2, double or even triple the distance between you and the car in front of you. 3, turn your headlights on so people can see you. 4, everything you do, steering, braking, accelerating, has to be super smooth and gentle. And always, always remember, bridges and overpasses freeze first. And look, this isn't just an issue for people in one specific climate. This is a challenge everywhere. As you can see, up in snowy Canada, about a third of crashes are on icy roads. But then you look at a much warmer place like Australia, and wet weather is still a factor in 10% of their accidents. It just proves that no matter where you live, these skills are absolutely essential. So, here's the real takeaway from all this. Understanding why something is dangerous is the key to managing that risk. It's not about being afraid of the rain or the snow, it's about respecting it. That knowledge is what turns that nervous feeling behind the wheel into confident, smart decisions. But that brings us to the final and maybe most important challenge. It's one thing to know all this stuff while you're sitting here listening. It's another thing completely to actually do it in a split-second moment on the road. So the question I want to leave you with is this. How do we turn this knowledge into an instinct so that driving safely in any weather becomes our automatic second nature?
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.